What's up, Nerdyverse? I'm Daddy Louie, and in this video we are taking a look at a game called Bellum Sacrum, so stick around. Before we get started, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you subscribe for more content and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. Bellum Sacrum is a successful Kickstarter that was funded back in December of 2019. It is now available for purchase up on the publisher's website. It's very simple to learn, but it require some deep strategy in order to win. The theme behind the game is that you are in ancient Rome, Roman gods, and those gods have become bored over time. And so to combat their boredom, they've decided to create a friendly war competition between themselves. So you are going to play with a deck of gods or goddesses, and you are going to create columns of warriors. You're going to attack each other. You are going to use cards as instances in order to block attacks or kind of screw up your opponent's strategy. And all the meanwhile collecting trophies. The first player to collect 5 trophies wins the game. But is it good? Well, if you join me on the table, we'll check it out. All right, so once inside the box, this is everything that you need in order to play. If you follow me for a long time, you know that I love big games and small packages, and this is certainly it. This is the box that the game comes in, and this is everything that you need to play. A couple of small decks, some trophy cards, 2 reminder cards, and the rules are just this little fold-out pamphlet. Really simple, but again, lots of strategy built into this small game. So like I said, you're going to play with a deck of gods and goddesses. The name of the god and the type of god that it is irrelevant to the game. You're really just going to be looking at their stats and their powers. One thing that I think is really cool is when you are constructing the decks are identical, but there is both a male and female god/goddess of each type, of each stat line. So, for example, each deck has 6 of these number 1 cards. You could do 6 of the male gods and 6 of the female gods against each other. So you could do full god versus goddesses, or you can mix and match. So you could do both, which I think is really, really cool that they have representation on both ends of the spectrum here. Again, you have your trophy cards. These are just reminders of both how many trophies you've won. There's 9 in total because the first player to get to 5 wins. So you only need 9. But then on the back, it also has a reminder of what happens when you win a trophy, which is kind of cool. And then we have 2 quick start. You have a quick start cheat sheet, and you have an abilities reminder. These are like your instants that you can get when you use cards in order to use their invocation, is what it's called. And then a reminder on the back of this that tells you the actions that you can take. Each player on your turn, except for the first player first turn, is going to get 4 actions. And you can do each action as many times as you want, as long as you have actions to spend. And like I said, you just do what it says on the action. That's pretty much the premise of the game. But let me set up for a game, and I'll actually show you the rules and how it plays. Okay, so I'm all set up for my game. At the beginning of the game, each player is dealt 5 cards from their deck. Obviously, you shuffle your deck and deal yourself 5 cards. Put the trophies within reach. Give each player some of the reminder cards here. And then play begins with the first player. First player only gets 3 actions. Then from then on out, each player gets 4 actions after that. Now, you can't attack on the first turn, so that's something to note. And the actions, like I said, you can do in any combination and in any order. So the first action that you can do is to draw cards. So if I want more cards than what I have in my hand, I just spend one of my actions to draw 3 cards, which I'm not going to do right now, but that is one of the actions that you can take. You can also deploy any number of matching cards onto your column to create a warrior. Now, your column is going to have a top, middle, and bottom. You always have to deploy in kind of like an order. So you have to fill your top first, and then you have to fill the medium, and then you fill your bottom after that. And when you attack, you have to attack starting with your first readied column, and then you can support, with stuff after that. And you're attacking the front of your opponent's column, so front versus front, if you will. And when you're deploying stuff, you can deploy as many cards as you want that are the same card. So if they match. So right here I have 2 Discordia in my hand. I could deploy both of them as my front to my column together. And the reason that you would want to deploy stuff together is because when you talk about this being a warrior, the whole stack in that column, in that part of the column, is 1 warrior. So Discordia here is an 8/6. So you add their stats together. So she has 4 attack, and she has 3 defense. So you add the 2 4s together, which is 8, and you add the 2 6s or the 2 3s together, which is 6. So right now she is an 8/6 warrior. You can also strengthen. So let's say I had played this on my previous turn, and then I draw another Discordia. I could play another Discordia on this stack to make the warrior stronger. That's called strengthen. So you can draw cards, 3 cards. You can deploy any number of the same matching card, and you can strengthen. The other thing that you can do is invoke. You'll notice at the bottom of each card that there is some text that tells you what its ability is. So, for example, here Copia says, if you have the smallest hand, draw 5 cards, and it is not blockable. So I can invoke with one of my actions by discarding this card into my discard pile and doing what it says on the bottom. So I don't have to play it as a permanent. I can play it as an instant, giving me, assuming I have the smallest hand, which I do right now, I could draw 5 cards, which is really, really strong. There are ways of blocking other people's invocations, but as you can see, like this one says, it's unblockable, so the opponent wouldn't be able to do anything about that if I chose to do it, which I'm going to. Let's say I got 5, 3, 4, 5. Really, really strong hand. So first action I used to deploy. Second action I used to invoke Copia. And now for the third action here, I think I am going to play... This card can match any other card when blocking invocations as long as you... No, I think I'm going to play Diana here in my medium. So now I've got a front and a medium to my column. I'm sorry, middle. So I have a front and a middle to my column here. I have a bunch of cards in my hand, but I've already spent my 3 actions, and so I would pass to my opponent. The other thing that you can do, the last action that I didn't talk about, was attack. We'll talk about that more in a second. So looking at my cards here, I have 5 cards. My opponent has 6 cards. So for my first action, I think I would use Porous here as I'd invocate the Porous, which says, if you have the smallest hand, you can draw 5 cards. So I'm going to, man, that's really glary. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Having a large pool of hands in the beginning is really strong. So you see I got, 3 Mars cards here. So I'm going to play the 3 of them in the front of my in the front of my column, which sets me at 2 spent actions so far. I'm also going to play Honos here in the middle. So I did 1, 2, 3, and now for my 4th action, I'm going to attack so that I can show you guys how attacking works. Okay, so when attacking, you can attack either supported or unsupported. To attack unsupported, you're just going to attack with your frontmost readied warrior. So that in this case, that would be Mars, and I'm attacking the front of the column on my opponent's side, and I'm looking for the combined attack of mine versus the combined attack of theirs. So right now I have 15 attack. Each Mars has 5, which gives me 15, versus this 6 over here of Discordia. So I don't need to do anything else. This is going to be a pretty clear victory for me. So I would just do something to indicate that this is no longer ready. I'll turn it sideways and say that my Mars is attacking their Discordia. So this 15 would beat their 6, and this Discordia would be destroyed. Their middle would move up to their front, and in this case, that would be the end of my turn because I've already spent my 4 actions. Now, if I hadn't spent my 4 actions, if I had 1 action left, I could attack next with this here to take out their Diana, which would then give me a trophy because I cleared out their entire column. However, like I said, I can't do that. The other thing to note about attacking is, like I said, you can either attack supported or unsupported. So if over here on this side, I wanted more strength in order to take out, let's just take these out for a second. Let's say this player here wanted to attack this this guy over here. So right now I'm sitting at 8 attack versus their 8 defense. So I can match that and take them out. But what if, let's look at my cards here. What if they had 3? I don't have enough now to take out this guy with just this. So I could use a supported attack and then spend my my middle to help my front add the attack value. So I have 4, 8. Now I have 13, which beats this 12, 4, 4, 4 defense, which would wipe out the front of their column, if that makes sense. So that's the difference between supported and unsupported. And you can support all the way down. You just can't, if I had, a full column like this, front, middle, and back, I could support the front with the middle and then support with the back. However, I couldn't support with the back if I didn't support with the middle. Does that make sense? You must support all the way down the line if you want to support with the back. I could do it just like this. I could also do it like this, but I can never do it like this. Make sense? Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's the difference between supported and unsupported. You can also attack stuff even if you can't defeat it. So what I mean by that is here I have 4... 8 attack versus their 12 defense, right? So in this case, because I can't beat them outright, I can weaken them and at least get rid of the stuff that does match. So I can do at least 8 damage to this 12, so I would get rid of 8 damage worth of cards, which would be 2 of these, which again weakens their guy up front. So it still is beneficial to attack even if you can't take it outright, as long as you can weaken stuff, because you don't want their warriors to get super strong. And that's pretty much how you play the game. At the end of your turn, you would ready anything that's resting. So if you have any cards that you used to attack, they're considered resting. And then at the end of your turn, you ready it for the next turn. And there are ways that you can make people's characters rest on your turn so that when it's their turn, they can't attack and stuff like that. But you're basically going to spend your turn using 4 actions. You can either draw 3 cards, deploy matching characters, strengthen existing characters or warriors, invoke gods that are in your hand by discarding them and using their ability, and then attack by resting your characters or resting your warriors again from the frontmost readied character to the back, attacking the front of their column. And the object is to eliminate their entire column, and when you do, you earn a trophy. The first player to get 5 trophies wins the game. And that is everything that you need to know in order to play Bellum Sacrum. Oh man, Bellum Sacrum. I love this game. I like the fact of the matter that, again, small package, big game. It has some pretty unique mechanics that I've not seen in other games. I do love the fact that cards have dual purpose. You can either use them as a permanent placement on the board to use for attacking and defending, but you can also use them for that invocation in order to discard them and use their abilities. That's really, really cool. The art is also super fun. I like that it's simple, but it feels ancient Romy, if that makes sense. It has a quick feel to it. I mean, even though games can last a while because different strategies and kind of like blocking your neighbors from being able to do what it is that they were originally going to do. The game feels fast. Like decisions happen pretty quickly and there's not a lot of downtime, which is really great. I also wanted to mention that this game is for ages 14 and up per what it says on the box. However, the developer has created an optional rule set that you can find out on his website. I'll leave links in the description below. That you can play this game with younger folks in an Uno style gameplay, I guess. And they even go as far as to say it's better than Uno. So definitely go and check that out, especially if you like Uno or you have younger kids. You can play, you can grab yourself a copy of this game to play with, older audience. But then if you've got kids around, you can bust out those Uno-like rules that they've got up on their website. There's also plans. They have plans in mind for a future monster expansion. They just want to see how well they can build a following and build a community around this game. So let's help them out. This game is really great. Definitely go and check it out. Links to everything in the description below. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. And like I said, it is a competitive game, but it does have comeback mechanics built into it, so you never feel like you're completely out of the game. I would go as far as to say I wouldn't mind seeing this as a phone game, as an iOS or an Android game that you can play either pass and play or, against people online. I think that would be really cool. I think the mechanics definitely work well for a game that could be played, like I said, on a mobile device. So, maybe. What do you guys think of Bellum Sacrum? Let me know down in the comments below. I enjoy reading those and interacting with you guys. If you want to see more from the Circle of Nerds, definitely check out our social media. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, all at Circle of Nerds. Also, don't forget we have a podcast that comes out every Wednesday called The Cosmic Disaster Show. You can find that right here on YouTube or anywhere that you enjoy listening to podcasts. We also have a Friday night live stream show at 8:30 Eastern Time over on our Facebook page called Nerds on Ice. Definitely check that out, where we go over some of today's hot topics. And for an extra bit of love and affection to us here at the Circle of Nerds, make sure you check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/Circle of Nerds. Anyway, guys, that's all from me. I will see you in the next video.